is if you look at, mobile phones in the past, 20, 25 years ago, you had a Motorola Razr, you had a Nokia Banana, you had a Sony Ericsson that I think was the first to put a camera in it. Everybody was going in different directions. If you look today, all mobile phones are a screen, a battery, and a camera. They're all the same. And unfortunately, that's what's going to happen to electric cars. The only thing that'll differentiate you, just like mobile phones today, is the brand, where it's made, the operating system. Play a few videos, and then after that we'll get into all the questions. And for the ones that don't know Wiesmann, this is just a little introduction. So the first video that we have is something that just gives you a little bit of our brand identity, what the kind of customer we're trying to go for, and the level of quality that we're putting into it. Thank you. That was just a little introduction to the Wiesmann brand. After this, we have one which is actually showing you the car a little bit better. I'm going to play that, and then we'll get into the factory after that.
Well, in a short period of time that you've been in the car industry, you seem to have come a long, long way. Tell us a little bit about the past, from the date when you bought the company and to where you are now, and some of the key milestones that you've experienced and enjoyed along the way.
Well, the brand is actually quite an old brand. The Wiesmann brothers earlier used to make roofs and various bits for the German auto OEMs. And then it's about 40 years ago, about 38 years ago actually, they decided that, let's try and make a car. So the Martin Wiesmann actually started making a car in his ex-wife's father's garage. And that's where it all started. And then from there, it just grew and grew and grew. And it grew into, in 2014, it was the fourth most recognizable brand in Germany. So Wiesmann in Germany is highly recognized, and Germany, of course, Korea is, masters at making fantastic cars, but Germany arguably is also the gold standard of making cars. And in Germany, Wiesmann is considered very, very high.
Now, just going to lead back to the question I asked you earlier, at that stage when the opportunity came to acquire the company and do this, and you wasn't come from the automotive industry, how big a gamble was it for you, or was you really confident going into it from the very beginning?
everybody said I'm completely mad. The first thing that happened was in my companies, that when I said I want to buy a car company, and that too in Germany, everybody said, "What are you doing?" I came from a very successful IT background. At the same time, I was able to produce, maybe 3 or 4 companies that became extremely successful, still are. And then I thought to myself, why not jump into the car world? This opportunity presented itself, and I thought to myself, why not?
Originally, Wiesmann Wiesmann itself was known for producing exceptional combustion engines. Why did you choose to go the electric route for a supercar?
Well, originally, great question. It is the world today. A lot of people, say, why have I chosen, to let go of combustion engines? I don't think there's any future in combustion engines. And also, we were always with BMW, M Division. They've been a great partner to us. They still are very good with us. But it's the first time we were able to actually branch off and do everything ourselves. So it was a big gamble, having no big brother to help. But at the end of the day, I was like, go big or go home. Let's try and get this right and produce something that nobody else has. And we've done that now with our electrification of what we've done, the car we have.
And approximately 20% of cars today now are electronic vehicles, but a far lower percentage in the supercar category. What do you see as the future of the supercar? How do you think that's going to play out?
Well, actually, we're the first convertible electric car in the world. We're the first one. We have many different features that are there in the car. For example, the battery is completely interchangeable. I truly believe in sustainability, and if we're going to build something, Wiesmanns of the past have almost tripled in value. And when I looked at Wiesmanns, or looked at many of the electric cars of today, you see screens, you see batteries that are in the skateboard. How are you going to change the batteries if they're in the skateboard? How are you going to, what happens when the screens get old? You buy a phone today and the screens look old in 6 months. So you can't trash the whole car. So what we did was we removed, we placed the batteries in the front, which allows us to change them, upgrade them. And one of the pictures actually on the screen, I'm not sure which one it is, it shows you the dials. We have analog dials like a watch, this picture here, that gives you electric information. Underneath that, you have a crystal screen. So this way, you will always have the information you need. You have a driver's car, and you have a crystal screen that you can always upgrade. So even if you want to get rid of your car, bring it back to us. We will change the battery pack, and we have a huge waiting list there to give it to somebody else.
And you mentioned waiting lists. You've got orders of a year and a half now of people trying to come and buy the cars. Yeah. In addition to an outstanding product, you've really got excelled in the marketing side. Is that one of the key drivers of what you've been trying to achieve?
I believe that a product leads, in the sense that if you build a fantastic product, the demand will be there. I wasn't expecting to sell the cars the way we sold them. We sold all the cars in 4 weeks. 4 weeks from the internet, our entire 1.5 cars just flew. The United States was huge. Many places that we've never been to, which we never expected, just blew us away. So now we've had to double what we were going to produce, and we've had to ramp up production pretty drastically, which is great for us because we will, pretty much break even in the first year. I think it's the first quarter, second year, we completely break even as we stand today.
And when will we see the first cars on the road?
So some of the cars are already on the road. So if you're in Germany or if you're in Europe right now, you can get into one of them and take them out for a spin. But I think around end of 2024, early 2025, there's no point delivering a convertible sports car in the winter. So we may as well take the time to make sure that they're perfect and get them out.
But from a tech perspective, what are the amazing features of the car from a tech perspective?
So we do 0 to 60 in 2.9 seconds. We've saved a little bit for one of the models later. In terms of it's our own software, it's our own regenerative braking system. We've got a 300 kilowatt charger station. It's a 92 kilowatt battery inside there. It weighs 500 kgs. We're getting 520 kilometers range right now. Hopefully, when the cars come out, we'll be closer to 600, which doesn't just make this a super sports car, but you can take this for the weekend and not have to charge it again. So we're doing some things that even the large OEMs haven't been able to do, and this is existing now. So.
You mentioned the braking system. Tell us about the fifth gear regen braking system that you've got.
So what it is just when you, if you're familiar with the regen braking system, when you take your foot off, the car immediately starts slowing and you start charging the car battery back. What we've done is we've broken that up into 5 gears. If you include 0, that's 6. And then if you put the car into sport, super sport, it gets more aggressive. This way you're able to put back up to 15% of the charge back into the battery if you drive it harder. So we encourage you to drive it harder and you can actually charge it back. And you also have a lot of fun driving. One of the things we never wanted to lose with the Wiesmann was the individual look, how it makes you feel. Not only just driving it, but also in the terms of fun. And I think I've driven this car now. I would never go back to a combustion engine after driving this car.
How do you see the battery technology evolving now, and how do you think that's going to help you going forward?
I think battery technology is just going to jump, and there's so many new technologies out there. One of the things that I'm very happy about, and I always use this example, is if you look at mobile phones in the past, 20, 25 years ago, you had a Motorola Razr, you had a Nokia Banana, you had a Sony Ericsson that I think was the first to put a camera in it. Everybody was going in different directions. If you look today, all mobile phones are a screen, a battery, and a camera. They're all the same. And unfortunately, that's what's going to happen to electric cars. There's a point where they will all have a certain range, a certain speed, and a certain way. The only thing that will differentiate you, just like mobile phones today, is the brand, where it's made, the operating system. And one of the things that we really have going for us is we have the brand, we have an unbelievable styling, and we have our own operating system that nobody else has. And I think that's something that will propel us. In terms of the battery, we'll always be able to choose and take the best solution out there because we're not stuck to our own technology that may not be the best. So one of the things I want to do with Wiesmann is always keep it free as possible, so we're not tied down like we were in the past.